Network Entertainment.
OR is the application of scientific, analytical, and mathematical methods or models to support decision making sa mga complex systems. Counterfactual analysis naman is to evaluate yung mga tinatawag nating unseen successes or unseen failures. When we use counterfactual analysis, nakita natin yung mga what if scenarios. What we want to argue is that at the minimum, it was partially responsible for the reduction of disaster fatalities.
Welcome to Behind the Science podcast. New episode every Thursday at 7 p.m.
Magandang araw mga kapwa-siyentista at welcome sa isa na namang episode ng Behind the Science podcast. Ako si Paul Flores, ang inyong host, and our guest is a graduate of BS Industrial Engineering and Master of Technology Management from UP Diliman, and he is currently an assistant professor at the Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, UP Diliman. So without further ado, let's all welcome Engineer Jude Agapito.
Hello sa mga viewers tsaka listeners ng Behind the Science podcast. Hello din,
Yes.
Dr. Paul. Good to
Ayun,
be.
so... Ay, sorry. Ayun, so welcome sa podcast, Sir Jude. So ang topic natin today, tungkol ito sa Project NOAA, kung talagang may nagkaroon ba siya ng impact, yung operations research, particularly yung Project NOAA pagdating sa disaster risk reduction efforts sa Pilipinas.
Yes.
And the usual, bago natin pag-usapan yung research paper na yon, kilalanin muna natin si Sir Jude as well as yung naging journey niya as a scientist. So sir, kayo po yung pangalawang IE na guest dito sa podcast. So can you
Yes.
share din sa guest natin dito, ano ba yung IE at bakit ito yung napili mong kurso nung college ka?
Yeah, kanina tinawag mo akong Engineer Jude Agapito. Usually hindi kami tinatawag na engineer kasi wala kaming PRC. Wala kaming board exam, no? So ang usual nga na tawag sa amin ay IE, Hindi Eng.
Hindi eng.
Hindi daw kami eng, no? Pero ang IE, ito ay isang sangay ng engineering, inhinyero na nagdidisenyo, mag-optimize, nag-i-improve ng mga systems, no? And lahat ng kumpanya, gobyerno, agencies, lahat yan may sistema, na nakapaloob. And it involves people, facilities, processes, materials, information, and technologies, And what we want is to improve holistically yung mga systems na yun, And yun yung job namin as IE o mga Indieng, So we focus on better efficiency, better quality of products and services, And eventually, we want to improve yung productivity natin. So that's IE in a gist.
So bakit ito yung pinili mong kurso nung college ka?
Ano nga ba? Kasi gusto kong maging engineer, magaling ako sa math. Mahina ako sa English. Pero ayoko naman maging I don't want to be involved in construction. Ayoko rin masyadong ma-involve sa mga makina, Ayoko gumawa, Ayoko rin ng electronics, Pero gusto ko maging engineer, And ang kagandahan sa IE is you tap a little of all those engineering branches. May mechanical, may civil, may electronics, lahat, Computer science, meron din. So we were able to explore all those things then. So kami daw, ang naririnig ko, industrial engineers daw are engineers of engineers.
Kanina nabanggit mo na magaling ka sa math. So, can you
Ay,
share ano ba yung
para sa akin lang,
paborito mong
Ngayon, hindi na. Hindi na ako nung high school ako. Uh, uh,
mm,
Anong paborito kong?
paborito mong math subject? Anong branch ng mathematics yung
Geometry.
na-enjoy mo?
Ano ba yun nung college? Di ko na maalala eh.
May
Drawings.
geometry ba sa college? Parang baka para lang sa mga math majors.
Science na yata na kami. ES1, drawings. Hindi ko na alam kung tawag ko sa ES1 eh.
Pero more on drawing yun, di ba? Walang kahit anong calculations. Nag-ES1 din ako
Meron
dati eh.
I'm not sure, pero parang meron naman yung mga angles. I don't know. I can't remember na eh. Pero meron naman. Yata.
Pero sa sa field ng IE, ano yung field of mathematics na usually ginagamit or kailangan may background yung isang IE?
Iba-iba din. Meron ka dapat stat, no? On one subject, kailangan mong maging magaling sa ano nga ba to? May matrix, etc. OR, operations research 'yon, no? So, iba-iba ang So, ako kasi, I'm involved sa production systems, no? So, more on process improvements, yung mga tinitingnan ko. And ang mga chine-check namin doon is yung mga capacity, standard times, etc. Yeah.
After graduating college, nag-masters ka ba agad or
No,
ano mo na yung, or nagtrabaho ka somewhere?
nagtrabaho ako right after my graduation, no? Day after my graduation ceremony, nag-apply ako sa SSS, Social Security System, no? And pinili ko yung SSS kasi nasa harap lang ng bahay ko. And also, no, on top of, ang requirement ko is I want to work sa gobyerno, no? So I want to do public service. So lahat naman ng boxes nag-check, no?
Ano yung trabaho na ginagawa mo at that time sa
Yan,
SSS?
sa SSS, no, Social Security System. I was hired as a junior specialist slash researcher. So my job was to do business process review, core process review. Yung mga proseso ng SSS, lalo na yung mga frontline processes, I review them, I try to improve. Also, yung mga forms, nakapag-design na ako ng forms which I'm not sure kung hanggang ngayon, no, but circulated nationwide, no, yung mga forms na yon. So, ayun naman yung mga nagawa ko I think for 2 years.
Forms as in like kung anong i-fill up mo dun sa form, anong klaseng info?
Oh, yeah.
Ayos
So that's one lesson I learned in IE. We do forms design, no? Kasi kailangan ang forms mo ay efficient. Isipin mo, one of the lessons learned in IE is ano ang value ng isang segundo. Now, when you compute it, no, with the peso value, ang mahal pala ng isang segundo. No?
Magkano? In peso?
Hindi ko kabisado yung lecture ko eh. Pero ang isang segundo sa isang transaction, madami yon, mahal pala. No? Throughout the year, if you compute it, I think it will cost you months pa rin. Not sure, hindi ko nakabisado yung values. Hindi naman months yata, 1 month yata.
From working sa SSS, paano ka ngayon napadpad sa sa UP?
Hindi pa ako sa UP, no, sa UP, yes. After 2 years working in SSS, nirecruit ako ni Dr. Mahar Lagmay to be part of UP Resilience Institute as his right-hand man, no, sa Office of the Executive Director. So ayun, nag-join ako, and I learned a lot. Grabe pala ang disaster, ang business of disasters, no? Ang dami palang nakakibat na buhay.
Hmm. So ito na yung ano, 'di ba? Ito na yung after inabsorb ng UP yung Project NOAA.
Yeah, UP was absorbed. NOAA was defunded ng 2017, and then from there, inabsorb siya ng UP. So nagkaroon ng UP Resilience Institute with NOAA Center as its core component. Na-absorb din yung mga human resource, no, from NOAA, no? Nakuha pa. Yun yung pinaka-importante kasi sa NOAA, no, yung mga tao. Kasi may hawak sila, yung knowledge. Yung knowledge na importante dyan. And sila yung mga magagaling talaga sa disasters.
So lahat nung naging, hindi siguro lahat,
Not all.
karamihan ng mga project staff ng NOAA at that time sa NIGS napunta sa RI.
I'm not sure kung gaano kadami, no, but it was a lot. So, kasi syempre, project-based, walang security of funding. So, syempre, kailangan din isipin ng bawat isa yung security nila. So, hindi lahat, pero maraming naitawid na tao.
From RI naman, bakit ka naman nag-decide na mag-pursue ng graduate school and eventually magturo dyan sa IE?
Yeah. I started muna, no, as I started applying sa Master of Technology Management, no, when I was in RI, UP Resilience Institute. Kasi I saw the need, no, to yung technology na kung ano yung pinag-aaralan doon sa paper na pag-uusapan natin, no, na kailangan ma-manage yung technology na yun, yung hazards mapping, yung NOAA, etc., etc. Kailangan ma-manage yun. So I applied in technology management for that. And then later on, no, siguro parang nakita ko kailangan ko lang magpahinga, no? So nag 1 month break ako from UPRI, and then nakita ko na may posting for a call for a faculty member, full-time faculty member sa IE. So nag-apply ako, natanggap ako. And good thing, baon ko yung mga natutunan ko from UPRI. So natanggap ako.
Ayun, so speaking of UPRI, I guess madami na tayong napagkwentuhan sa naging journey ni Sir Jude. Ngayon pag-usapan naman natin yung naging paper nila. So ang title nito ay Counterfactual Evidence on the Impacts of Operations Research on Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction Efforts. So sir, first question palagi sa part na to, can you explain your paper in 1 sentence tungkol saan po ba ito?
1 sentence, napakahirap naman noon, no? Medyo mahirap yun, but siguro what we want to see, no, or what we want to argue is that when NOAA when operations research through NOAA was integrated in the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management ng bansa, no? What we want to argue is that at the minimum, it was partially responsible for the reduction of disaster fatalities, no? If not the main driver of the reduction of fatalities, significant reduction of fatalities. And itong NOAA na to, no, this provided hazard information, forecasting, and basically decision support system sa gobyerno at its when it was embedded sa system ng gobyerno sa NDRRMC.
Kapag sinabing
yun,
pasok na, pwede na. Pwede naman lagyan ng mga semicolon yung sentence eh. Pwede na
Yun.
yan. Kapag sinabi bang operations research, anong ibig sabihin ng operations research and also yung term na counterfactual?
Okay, sige. OR, no, is the application of scientific, analytical, and mathematical methods or models to support decision making sa mga complex systems, no. Sa complex systems, part of OR is that needs to it needs to consider constraints, no, constraints. So for example, meron tayong mga time constraint, information constraints, resources constraints. So yun, we all of that needs to be checked, no, when we do our analysis, no, and when we provide recommendations as in support for their decisions. So decisions ng gobyerno. And ano pa yung isang tanong? Counterfactual.
Counterfactual.
Counterfactual analysis naman is what we want is to evaluate yung mga tinatawag nating unseen successes or unseen failures. So, 'di ba, yung mga disasters, dumaan na yan, no? Dumaan na yan. And when we use counterfactual analysis, maganda siya kasi nakita natin yung mga what if scenarios, no? What if scenarios. Meaning, nung ginawa namin yung paper, based on international data, no? Nakita natin yung trends ng fatalities. So, before NOAA was embedded in the PIDRAS system ng NDRRMC, no, pre-disaster risk assessment system ng NDRRMC, ang average deaths per year, no, from 1986 up to 2013, no, is around 1,253 deaths, no, yearly deaths, no? And when NOAA was embedded in the NDRRMC PIDRA system, ang deaths na natin ay bumaba to 295 deaths per year. So that's around 80% reduction yearly. Yearly. And some would say, paano naman natin ma-associate yun sa NOAA lang, no? And yes, kaya nga ang claim namin ay partially responsible. At least partially responsible. Kasi marami pang at play na factors na mas naging active daw sa pagbibuild ng evacuation centers, marami pang policies na naipatupad. So yes, meron pa mga ganon, but at least it was partially responsible.
So bali, yung ibig sabihin ng counterfactual analysis, parang may ginagawa ka na what if scenario na what if walang NOAA and then compare mo.
Again, no, hindi pala ako nakabalik. Invisible successes, no? Sinabi ko yung term na yon for the counterfactual analysis. So ibig sabihin, what if walang NOAA, no? What if walang NOAA noong 2014? Eh di steady lang yung ating line. Yung average deaths, di ba? So, from 1986 to 2013, 1,253 deaths per year, no? And kung walang NOAA, edi tuloy lang yan to 2014 onwards, no? And when we computed, no, the estimated number of potential deaths, that is about 7,000 from 2014 to 2024. No? And ika nga ni Dr. Mahar Lagmay, no? Kung yun 7,000, isa nga lang namamatay madami na eh. Di ba? One life loss is one too many. So 7,000 in 10 years ang na-save. So that's the counterfactual analysis. we did.
Actually, may mga follow-up questions ako tungkol sa metrics na yan at paano kayo nag-arrive sa ganong numbers. Pero before that, siguro can you refresh lang din yung audience natin? Ano ba yung Project NOAA?
Well, Project NOAA basically is an OR, no? Operations Research application siya, no? Na what we did, what NOAA, hindi pala ako, no? This is a program that was initiated, no, in 2012 by President Aquino, no? And the program aims to use science, technology, frontier science and technology, and hazards information to improve disaster preparedness, risk assessment, and early warnings. So they made use of yung mga tinatawag nating hazards map, no? So nag-generate sila ng hazards map na may climate change projections. They make use of IFSAR, LiDAR technology to be able to create those maps, no? They also use AWS, automated weather systems, flood sensors, basta all in all, for you to be able to have a science-based informed support system, no, for decisions.
And yung NOAA, di ba, at that time, hindi lang siya isang, program. So, multiple projects siya, di ba, na distributed
It's
sa iba-ibang institutes.
It's a $6 billion program. Ay, peso, not dollar. It's a 6 billion peso program, no? And marami siyang maraming sub-projects or projects na nakapaloob dito sa programang ito. Pero tinawag siyang Project NOAA kasi sabi ni Sir Mahar, ni Dr. Mahar Lagmay, mas sexy pakinggan ang Project NOAA kesa NOAA program.
Program NOAA.
Or
nga, actually, mas parang pag inisip mo, mas tatatak talaga yung Project NOAA kaysa program NOAA.
Oo, di ba? So, visionary din kasi si Dr. Mahar Lagmay. Kita niya na yan bago pa natin makita or ma-realize.
Pero yung mga project components nung NOAA, sa mga under lang siya sa mga SUCs or may other din, like may projects din sa LGU na under the NOAA program?
Yeah, no, it started as a national, embedded siya sa National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council. But when it was defunded in 2017, na inabsorb na siya ng UP, and from there, naging localized yung mga trabaho sa UPRI and NOAA Center. So they go to LGUs, and per LGU na ang atake. No? They go to SUCs, and yung mga SUCs naman yung ine-empower ng UPRI. So they build maps for LGUs, no? They help with creating yung mga local plans ng mga LGUs, no? Na science-based.
Ngayon naman siguro gusto ko puntahan yung methods doon sa study kasi kanina yung binanggit mo na metric ay yung fatalities per year. So bakit yun yung metric na napili nyo at yung fatalities na to, ito lang ba at yung nakukuha ang fatalities kapag may bagyo or lindol? Paano kinukuha yung statistic na yun?
Yeah, the data was from what do you call MDOT, no? EMDOT, Emergency Database. This is from the Center for Emergency. I forgot the name. CRED. From CRED siya, an international database, no? So CRED siya yung maintain ng database na yon. But basically, meron silang database to absorb yung mga emergency data katulad ng nitong pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. Pero yung data na kinuha namin, na dinownload namin for this paper is more on hydrometeorological hazards data.
Ah,
So yung mga anything that involves flooding, storm surges, no? So hydromet data, hydromet hazards data. And itong CRED na to, yung CRED, hanapin nyo na sa internet yung ibig sabihin. Maganda naman yung ano nila, no? Yung methodology nila for capturing data, no, or collecting data, kasi they get it from official situational reports ng mga gobyerno ng bawat bansa, no. So, and may fact finding naman sila na proseso na ginagawa for that, and may validation process din sila. So we can consider this as a reliable source, kumbaga. And also, this was, I believe, no, recognized na rin by United Nations Disaster Risk Reduction, no, UNDRR, or UNISDR na yata, or dati UNDRR.
So, bakit yun yung pinili yung parameter? Hindi yung, for example, mga infrastructure damage and
We also considered
mga other
that.
things.
We also considered that, no? So, proactive kami sa pagtingin ng impacts ng NOAA, no? So, first thing na, syempre, ang check namin fatalities. So, we check yung fatalities, but we also check losses and damages, no? And when we look at losses and damages naman, before NOAA was embedded in the government, it is at a certain value, no? From what I remember, it's around 1 billion. I'm not sure kung dollars or peso. Dollars yata. Ang average per year, no?
Average loss.
Losses and damages per year, no? And then when NOAA was introduced in 2014, no significant change. No significant change, no? So mataas pa din. Now, we tried to capture ano kaya yung dahilan. And doon natin nakikita na unang-una, totoo talaga na ibig sabihin hindi bumaba yung tawag dito, yung dami ng mga disasters na nangyayari yearly, no? So may significant decrease talaga sa fatalities, kasi kung yung losses and damages consistent, ibig sabihin may nangyayari pa ring disasters. That's one point. Second point, bakit walang changes, no? Ang ibig sabihin, ang losses and damages kasi, ito ay maaaring yung mga ari-arian mo, no? Yung mga bahay, kotse, no? So kung mag-evacuate ka, hindi mo naman pwede evacuate yung bahay mo, di ba? Ikaw lang ang aalis, no? So at the minimum, we save, or NOAA saved lives, but pero hindi naman nila maisasalba lahat ng gamit nila. So there was a decline dun sa average, pero hindi significant, no? Kasi infrastructure can't be, or kung mag-improve ka man ng infrastructure, it would take time.
May paraan ba para 'di ba, gumawa kayo ng counterfactual analysis, tapos may paraan ba na ma-quantify na ito yung percentage na to dahil sa activities ng NOAA, itong percentage na to dahil sa other activities by other government agencies?
We're able to get that, no? Hindi na namin nakuha, but kagaya nung sabi ko kanina, may other factors na nakita kami na potentially could be a part, no, as responsible then for the reduction of deaths. But to totally quantify portions, no, ilang persyento ang galing dito, ilang porsyento galing dyan, mahirap akuhin.
yung fatalities per year ba na binanggit mo, national scale yun or nakafocus lang siya sa isang region, for example?
National. National. So they collect si MDOT, tinitingnan niya per per unang-una per disaster. Tapos hindi ko nakabisado no yung mga data, but national siya. National and per disaster.
May mga ano ba? Well, of course we can argue na malaki yung tulong nung NOAA to reduce these fatalities. Pero tinitingnan nyo rin ba yung events na possible na hindi nagkaroon ng malaking influence yung NOAA? Like for example, nagkaroon ng isang bagyo dun sa isang particular area, pero pag tiningnan mo yung previous na historical record, walang nagbago. Or
Honestly, hindi ko na tackle. Pero I think sila Sir Mahar, they can answer that. Doon sa study namin, ang ginawa naman namin, from 2014 onwards, we look at ano yung effect nga nung NOAA, no? So, chinek namin yung media reports and NDRRMC reports for that, no? So ang nakita namin is that 2014, 2015, 2016, 0 deaths, mass casualties, no? Ang ibig sabihin namin, dinefine namin sa study namin na ang considered as mass casualty or disaster is if it has 10 or more deaths. This was defined by, I think, CRED, or hindi ko na maalala kung sino yung source namin doon. But that's what a disaster for us means, no? 10 or more deaths or mass casualty, no? And so yun 2014, 2015, 2016, 0 mass casualties. And 2017 onwards, may mga deaths na ulit. Mass casualty deaths. Ano ibig sabihin nun? 2017 onwards, meron ng mga cases or multiple cases na sa isang disaster, may 10 or more deaths na nangyari. According to media reports and official situational reports from NDRRMC. Now, ano ibig sabihin nun? 2017 onwards. No? 2017 onwards na defund yung NOAA. No? So, I don't know.
siguro isa din sa pinaka naalala ko na success, medyo weird siguro gamitin yung term na success story, pero nung time na nangyari yung Yolanda, 'di ba, may early warning na yung NOAA na may storm surge na mangyayari. Pero yeah, weird pakinggan yung success story kasi dami pa ring casualty. Pero yung natatandaan ko ay nakapagbigay ni sila ng early warning for that event.
Well, Yolanda kasi is what we consider a black swan. It's a black swan event, no? Hindi talaga siya pangkaraniwan. Extraordinary siya. So kung makikita mo yung data sa papel namin, no? Yung mga deaths ganyan, tapos nung Yolanda, or we call it typhoon na yan, nag-spike, gano'n, na ulit. So, iba talaga siya. It's one of a kind event, no? So, it's called a black swan event. Mahirap talaga siya na
So kasama yun dun sa sinabi mong average fatalities per year. Yes. yung Yolanda event.
Yung 1253 deaths kasama yung Typhoon Haiyan. Now, maaaring black swan event siya. So we also considered na what if hindi na natin siya i-count, no? Huwag na natin i-count yung Yolanda. So ilan na? On the average, before the embedding of operations research, no, sa ating gobyerno through NOAA, ang magiging number of deaths ay 1,021 deaths per year, no? And nung nangyari yung or when na-embed yung NOAA, naging 295. So significant pa rin yung ating reduction of debts. So even with or without, it's still a considerable amount of improvement in DRR in the country.
Ayun, so I guess madami na kaming napagkwentuhan dun sa research. For anyone interested, check nyo lang yung description, nakalink naman palagi yung paper dito. So ngayon naman, pag-usapan naman natin yung more on behind the scenes nung study.
Yeah.
First question palagi sa part na to ay, ano yung funding source to do this study? Anong klaseng funding yung kailangan to do this at saan siya ginagasto?
Yung nag-initiate sa project na to is hindi siya project, no, sa paper na to, this started when I was in UPRI pa. Tapos ano lang to, on the side lang to ginagawa, no. So I think this was published end of 2024, no. Pero mga 2023 pa lang na start na namin to. Tapos nakatenga lang siya, and nung lumipat na ako sa IE, no, sa IE department, I was required to publish. So binuklat ko ulit to, no, binuklat ulit ito, and tinuloy namin, and we were able to publish it sa Emerald, no, Emerald journal ba ang tawag doon? No. And so wala talaga siyang funding, pero it's part of our job, no, in UPRI to look at this yung mga ganitong values, no. Yung publication fee naman, I was able to get partial funding from UPRI and partial funding from our another project, no. Kasi malaki yung publication fee ng Emerald.
Magkano ba? $3,000 ba yan or
$250,000 250,000 pesos.
What? Parang okay, ang mahal niya pala. So bakit yun yung napili yung journal?
Well, pinangarap ko munang IJDRR, kami ni Sir Mahar. Pero ni-reject kami ng IJDRR for some reason, no? Hindi daw align or something, or I don't know, hindi ko na maalala. Tagal na mga 2024 pa. So the next was etong DPM, Disaster Prevention and Management ng Emerald. So natanggap naman.
So nakailang submissions kayo nito? Dalawang journal dun sa una na reject?
Dalawa lang. Na-reject lang doon sa una, which is IJDRR.
Tapos ilang revisions yung inabot mo dito sa
I
sa
think
Emerald?
Nakadalawa. Nakadalawa. Medyo mahirap din yung mga comments, but yung comments naman ay helpful kasi gumanda talaga yung paper. Kasi syempre siguro fresh eyes, no. Hindi na namin nakikita yung mga mali namin. Sila nakikita nila kasi bago. Kala namin ang ganda-ganda na ng papel namin nung pinasa namin. Di pala.
Ano yung masasabi mo na good and bad experiences in doing this study?
For this study, no? Siguro wala kaming energy at the start, no? Kaya nga natitenga. Nakakalimutan na namin ituloy. Busy din kasi sa UPRI. Sa UPRI kasi laging kami kailangang gawin, no? Kasi laging may disaster, laging may agencies na gustong mag-partner, no? So, very busy. That means very important din yung agency, yung UPRI, no? So, okay din yun. So, nakakalimutan na namin gawin ito. Yan siguro yung main hurdle ng paper. Nakatenga lang siya. Pero nung natutukan ko na eventually kasi kailangan ko na, no? For my as a requirement for my tenure, no? Sa
Mm.
sa sa IE department, I was able to finish it with my team sa pagtulong ni Sir Marden.
Dito sa study nyo, at what point nyo siya naisip na sapat na yung ginawa nyong analysis to submit for publication?
Ano kasi ang advice ni Sir Mahar, tapusin nyo at ipasa nyo. So, ganon yung ginawa namin. Kung ma-reject man yan, okay lang, magbibigay sila ng comments and we can improve. So, tama naman yung advice niya. Tapusin nyo, ipasa nyo na. Ganon dun eh.
Hmm.
So, siguro tapang, kailangan mo lang ng tapang na ang lakas ng loob na ipasa, magtiwala ka lang sa sarili mo na maganda yung ginawa nyo. Pasa nyo lang. Ay, nagkaayos naman.
Before we let you go, sir, ano yung mga ma-advise mo sa mga aspiring researchers, sa mga aspiring IEs?
Advice? Okay. Siguro, ano nga ba ma-share ko? Siguro, surround yourself with good people. Katulad ko, luckily, I'm surrounded by great people, no? In the likes of Dr. Mahar Lagmay and yung mga co-faculty members ko sa Department of Industrial Engineering and Operations Research. So, whatever they say, you absorb. Kung may mga turo sila, you absorb. No? Makinig ka, huwag ka mayabang. No? You absorb all those lessons and you apply sa ginagawa mo. And ako, ganun yung ginagawa ko. So, I listen, and I learn, and I apply. I think that's the best advice for the listeners and viewers of Behind the Science Podcast.
Siguro ano lang din pala, bago natin i-end yung episode, dagdag story lang din kasi minsan may nakikita ko sa Facebook during the early days nung RI na may mga nagko-comment na parang nawala yung project NOAA, ganun. Pero actually hindi siya nawala. Inabsorb lang ng UP at hindi siguro naging ganun nakasikat sa social media. Pero I think slowly lumalawak ulit yung audience ng RI, I guess.
Yeah. So hindi siya nawala, pero inabsorb siya. Nawala siya sa sa NDRMC, no, when it was defunded in 2017. But naka-survive, inabsorb ng UP. So buhay pa din. And ngayon nakakuha ng I think narinig nyo na sa balita, no? Nakakuha ng ang UPRI NOAA Center ng 1 billion funding mula sa national government. And doon mo makikita kung gaano ka-importante at pinahahalagahan na ulit ang NOAA and UPRI.
Ayun. And last question po, do you have anything to promote? Socials?
I have a few projects lang, no? So, like nyo na lang, no? Sa Facebook yung Project Abram, no? It's also inspired by NOAA, no? It is adaptive basic resource ano nga ba yung ibig sabihin ng Abram? Adaptive basic resource recognition and allocation model. So basically, it makes use of AI naman and yung ating GIS technologies to be able to provide some form of decision-making support system for resources, no? Resources in times of crisis, resource distribution. So we optimize uh, ang ating response distribution in times of crisis. So part din ang UPRI dito. We also have collaborators from UP Visayas and ayun,
So follow nyo sa Facebook or other socials.
Facebook, yeah. And watch out lang. Baka sumikat yung Project Abraham.
Ayun, so I guess hanggang dito na lang muna tayo. Maraming salamat kay Sir Jude sa pagpapaunlak ng aming imbitasyon. At kung nag-enjoy kayo sa conversation namin, please pakirate naman kami ng 5 stars dito sa Spotify para mas madami pa tayong maabot na audience. At maraming salamat sa lahat ng nakinig at nanood. See you everyone next week. Madami pa tayong pag-uusapan na research na ginagawa ng ating mga Pinoy scientists.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.